Trunks is a character that has been universally loved by pretty much anyone who plays Dragon Ball FighterZ, but in spite of his coolness and universal praise, he really has been one of the worst characters in the game just because he has to spend his resources to do things that most other top tier characters just get to do for free. I don't think that's the case anymore in this patch, and with the change that Trunks has, he's finally able to not just be this meter dump for style points, but actually be a character that is able to sort of do things and play the high level game of Dragon Ball FighterZ that many other top tier characters have been able to do. So let's get into his changes. His first change is to his 5H. It now has increased movement distance. This is really good for his reflect boost pressure. He's able to now stay on the opponent pretty much after several of his normals, so it's basically impossible to keep Trunks off of you with a single reflect, and you have to commit to either more reflects or risk getting blown up for it. This is a really good change. I would argue that the most change to Trunks is to his jumping strong attack, where they reduce the startup of it. Trunks now has Lab Coat 21's cross-up, where he's able to be point blank and hit you with a cross-up. This is fantastic, because before, he really didn't have this option that worked on crouching. Meanwhile, he had an excellent fake cross-up in his toolkit. That you could convert from meteorlessly, and that's magically appreciated. But once you realize that he didn't have a cross-up tool to really hit you with, you will usually just block same side. Again, most of this stuff is going to be a little execution heavy, but I mean, that's just his identity at this point. So this is all pretty fantastic stuff. Change the future. It's now possible to perform a special move while the button is held down. If you hold down the key blast button as you do the move, you can basically just sort of wave dash across the screen. Of course, this goes for other special moves as well, which his Shining Slash Light and Strong version both have increased movement distance. The Shining Slash Light has increased movement both on the ground and in the air. Meaning that, again, Trunks is just able to sort of fight at longer ranges than he could before. The most important thing about this change, however, for Trunks is that it gives him combo routes that he's been dying for years. Trunks finally has meterless knockdown, and that's fantastic. The Yokizemi is still pretty terrible. However, this is something that he just genuinely appreciates overall. With his new combo routes existing and the fact that he probably doesn't have to spend as much meter just to finish his combos, he might actually be able to sustain himself pretty well and not have to be a huge, big meter dumping resource. He could actually kind of be somewhat meter positive at times. I think this is overall a really good change for him. He also received the change to his Masenko, like I mentioned in the beam video, where he can combo into it after Super Dash. This does mean that he has buffs to his combo routes. It is a little tighter than some of the other Kamehameha routes that you see from some other characters, but if you get the timing down, then enjoy your improved damage with him in mid-screen as well. The last change that he also got is to both of his assists. His change to the future assist is notably faster. The startup went down from about 30 frame startup to 25. The hit stun is still weak. It's one of those things where it kind of lacks the other generous hit stun buffs that other characters have received, but it's still something that you appreciate. And again, some characters with their huge normals are going to really make a heyday with this assist. And again, this change also applies to his B assist as well, where it's pretty easy to get combos off of straight hits. With the changes to assist, Trunks finally has some really good utility to offer teams as a support character just by having a faster change to the future. That I think also goes farther too with the adjusted movement value. Trunks might have a really good scramble assist. Don't forget it, this assist has the Key Blast and Vulnerability properties that Labco 21A assist has as well. That's pretty good to have. Trunks might actually be a useful member of the team, providing two good assists that you can choose which version you want of, not having to burn all of his meter just to complete combos that other characters would do for free, as well as actually having left-right mix-up now without having to go into crazy finger-breaking things. You just cross up. or you don't. That's really great. I think that we're going to see Trunks players finally get to shine and do things that they've wanted to do for all along.